What's up, everybody, and welcome back for our review and recap episode 5 of Run the World, episode titled Plus Ones. Hopefully by now you checked out the episode. If not, come back through. Once you checked it out, we like to do full-blown discussions, full-blown spoilers, and really break down all the things that's went down in this episode. So we're at episode 5, and I believe this is an 8-season episode. So we over the hump mark here, and I'm going to start off, as I always do, by giving my quick little thoughts about the overall episode. And this is going to be interesting because I already know Lucas is going to disagree with me because of pre-show convo. But I'm starting off by saying thank you because this episode was much more on track and much more entertaining than what we had last week. So to kind of give a roundup of all the episodes thus far, 3 was still my favorite, but this one definitely is back on the side of like keeping me invested in this season. There's a lot of things that we kind of talked about last week not having answers to. I think some of these things have kind of been answered, but I also think we also got more questions this episode as well with the development of our core 4 ladies. But overall, I enjoyed this episode. Definitely had some laughs. Definitely some relatable moments in this episode. And I think that we're starting to see our characters go in ways that we kind of predicted, and some maybe not so. But we're going to break it all down, talk about it before we get started. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing good. You know, feeling right, Lucas?
Lucas is drunk.
I am not drunk, ma'am. Ma'am? Ma'am?
Okay.
Ma'am? I have enjoyed a libation, but I am not drunk, madam.
We are the sober ones here.
Well, too bad for you. You shouldn't be sober. That is your fault.
I'm working out, okay? Sun's out,
I need a drink
out.
for this episode.
Hey, I'm working out too. I just drink straight.
I'm done with you.
Lord. Yeah, so what's y'all guys' thoughts? They're talking about drinking and shit. Like, what's y'all thoughts
Oh,
about
my
this?
thoughts is I knew I was right about the Sondi and Matt. Remember, you was like, who's the safest couple to, go with? I said it was Sondi and Matt, and look what happened. Love at last. Now they can do whatever they want to do with, they kept it real.
Okay, we didn't see the same episode here.
Got a few haters, but, everything's good right now.
Okay.
Ish.
Why, Lucas, don't you agree?
Ish.
I saw the episode. He is literally doing to her what he's done to every woman he's been with. I think it played a very important part where the other, I guess their doctor friend who's at the school with them says Donda. Yeah, when
Donda
she said,
Baptiste.
Yeah, Donda Baptiste.
Straight from Zumanda.
When she said, "Oh, you definitely cook better than the last one," and when she asked him, "Have you had this type of party before?" he said, "Oh, yeah, but not as good as this one." Oh, so is this a pattern that she just didn't know about of him doing these big extravagant things when he gets caught by the university dating someone at the university? I think that is going to play a bigger part because even Sondi at the end, you could tell by her facial expressions, she did not believe him when he said that.
Yeah.
So, if we're going to harp on the Sondi and Matthew situation, it's very interesting that your outlook was solely based on like Professor Baptiste and Sondi's last looks, right? Because from what I know, children don't hold water. Right, so I feel like had there been somebody else, the daughter would have slipped up and said something. Hold on, let me finish before you start getting your tequila on.
Yeah, because
secondly, I think that Professor Baptiste is jealous that Sondi got Matthew because that was all shade. The manner in which she said, "Sis," the whole like, "Oh, the last one cooks better." You know what I mean?
No, she said you cooked better than the last one.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
The university is saying that this is a privilege. This is a one-time deal. This is not something that we do often. We don't give out this sort of pass for people to date, the teachers to date the students. So I think that almost it reads in a sense like how we see all the negative things, but we don't see like the positive side of it, or the different side, right? Because in my head, I'm like, what Professor Baptiste did was she did what unfortunately a lot of women, but since we're talking about Black women, what Black women do, right, is we shit on somebody who is doing what we wanted to do. Now, maybe she made a pass at Matthew and he wasn't going for that. Maybe she did hear about him sleeping with another student, whatever the case is, right? But she created doubt. That's really what the episode, that's what she was meant to do. She was meant to create doubt, to make her think like, oh, you ain't the only one. And so what if other women tried? The key word is tried, right? They tried to lock him down. They did not succeed. She did. So I think that in that context, while I agree with Jasmine that they are the safest couple, this is something that happens in a lot of relationships. If somebody comes in, they plant a seed of doubt, and that seed of doubt will grow and it will sprout into something that's probably, it could be nothing, it could be something. I think that it's very telling that this is something that happens normally in a lot of relationships, but you know what I mean, like across the board, whether it's Black or white. But I think had it been a pattern somewhere along the lines in the episodes previous to this one, we would have seen some sort of red flag. This man was really gung-ho about like, look, let's get ahead of it. Let's tell the university that we're in this relationship because I love you. This is different than saying like, I just want to be out there because I don't want to get in trouble. I mean, I think that I'm very in love with Matthew's character. One, because you don't see a lot of Black men professing love for women in that way. And then two, he's willing to risk things and put it on the line. So now that I'm done, you can go ahead.
Oh, don't worry about it.
There we go.
Don't worry about it. You're setting yourself up for a down. You're setting yourself up for a clear downfall that they are projecting a mile away with this show.
To bring some entertainment.
That down to the point of when they were discussing on what to tell the university, and he was coming up with lies to tell the university. And she's like, but why would we lie at all? We've been together X amount of time. Wouldn't it make it stronger for us if we told the truth? See, for a show like this, what they're doing is laying groundwork for it to be true that he did X, Y, and Z with these other people, and to see her reaction to it when it comes out that you're not the only one. Maybe you're not even the only one he brought around his daughter.
It's possible.
All right, hold on. Oh, so wait, what side y'all think I'm on here?
Oh, that's a good question.
Nah, seriously, I really do applaud them from spearheading this right on in the very beginning. Regardless if they didn't have the plan exactly mapped, if they wanted to tell the truth or not, they did come together. At least they were on the same page, and they handled it. They got the results they wanted. They're already moving forward and moving on. So I'm really impressed by how they handled this situation. But I will say, it's funny you brought up the daughter, because I thought about the daughter too. And I thought for a moment, I said, maybe the daughter's going to be problematic for this, because they're like instantly moving in together, and the daughter is kind of laying her footprints down, and maybe that could cause issue, but it's not. But to your point though, I think because of how expressive his daughter is, we definitely would have had some type of a slip up of some sort that would have been an indication that there was another woman. And I 1,000,000,000% agree with you with the Professor Danda Baptiste with her hating. Like, first of all, hating's not even a word. She's cold, disrespectful.
Yeah, well,
you in somebody else's house.
Kudos to Sondi, because it wouldn't have been me.
But here's the problem, though, and I think they played a good part of mentioning she ain't in her house. She just moved. She just moved. No. But think about it though.
She lives there.
Even when she said, "Oh, I just went downstairs to grab stuff because was nothing clean upstairs." How would you know where to get these type of things from if you haven't been in there and to these things multiple times? You gotta understand.
But he never lied. He said he had parties.
Yeah, true.
But that's not the lying part for her. The lying part for Sondi was when she said, "Have you ever had parties like this?" We knew what she was hinting towards.
But how do we know that Professor Baptiste is not just fanning flames?
How do you? But the problem is, how do you know she isn't?
But the university. All the university said
was, why should we grant you this privilege?
Yeah, but the university, since they're basically holding a court of appeal here,
Right.
they would have used it towards the this is your second offense, sir.
Right.
Now here's the problem though. What happened if the university didn't know about the first couple?
Right.
But no.
I think the problem, the biggest issue is
if he had multiple parties and co-workers came over and just like co-workers was way out in the bleachers seeing them kissing, and they went and told, if they had a party and he had a relationship and the way he expresses his love is not nothing that he hides, everybody would have known, especially the way how she gossiping.
But
his business.
The point that she brought it up and that it was multiple parties of that nature says it's happened before. I don't think that part is in dispute. But no. It's clearly more than him just throwing a party. He's not crazy enough to tell her at that moment, of course I've been with other women and thrown these type of parties.
I don't think it's smart on his behalf to risk his career
multiple times.
I'm sorry. Isn't the point of this show with the men is normally about them making certain mistakes?
Or we could actually be seeing something once for a change.
Right.
There's real good men out here.
Let's understand this very quickly. This is a show.
It is a show
about women for women. You want to know what they're not going to highlight? Oh, man, this is a great man here. That's not going to get highlighted here, buddy.
You never know.
No. Here's the TV 101. If I know anything for sure, I almost know exactly. But again, this is, as we get into the opinion of the show, this is part of my issue with this show, is that I know how every storyline is going to end at this point. It is obvious how it's going to end.
Let's hold him accountable.
And that is the problem with this show, is that it is going out of its way to be a sitcom on a cable network, and you're operating like a sitcom. Yes, this is operating like a full. No. A sitcom is a certain format that you must keep for television, and certain things happen. Like, do you not see from a mile away that they would get into it at her fitting and that situation with her mom? Like, that was all obvious. The moment she brought up her mother in a cab when they were talking, and she said, well, if you like her, she can stay with you. That literally lined up everything that was going to happen. And then it changed paces.
What the storyline is, but then it wouldn't.
No. What I'm saying is that when you line up things in a certain way, in a certain format, especially with a sitcom-y type of format, you can kind of predict what's going to happen with every character because it's following that pattern for you.
Well, there's two things I'll say about that. I think there's a predictive nature, then there's a relatable nature here, and I think that there's going to be things that you can say, like, I either been in this experience or in this situation. It's probably going to go this way. Then there's your knowledge of saying, like, well, I've seen things go that way. So you're weighing two heavy options of no. So, and what I'm thinking, like, I think that's perfectly could be fine here. But I would absolutely be open if we saw a character how we haven't really seen portrayed on TV, and it just ends up being Matthew, where
the positive good guy. We've seen
that we all love as a woman, that we love to see the good guy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, there's not a lot.
All the shiesty guys. I mean, I feel like Ola might be one of the ones, but we haven't really seen too much of him yet.
Right.
But like, Matt is winning right now.
I'm just going to say, because to me, it's not even shady when he brings up that, yes, I've dated other women. Yes, I've done this with other women. It's not shady that he's done any of that. It's going to be her reaction to finding out that he did it that's going to be the problem.
That's probably his only form of way of finding somebody, is dating people at the university. When you there,
I'm like 1,000% sure that's.
Well, let's keep it real. When you're at a place where usually you meet somebody that you work with, and you fall in love with the person that you work with, so you can see why the professor. Okay, next chick, it didn't work out. Okay, and then if he spills the beans, like, let's move forward with it. I mean, it's just what it is.
I'm just gonna go with what I know. He's very dedicated to his career. And he, even in this situation, he wanted to put that forth. But they came together and they tackled this together, and they got us a resolution, and they're moving forward together as a couple. I just don't see this character as being somebody who would have jeopardized this multiple times. Right. I do see him being a person that in his position and probably because of how he expresses love, that other women are like, man, I'm trying to see what's up with that. And he's just like, nah. And he fell for this one. And this is why he's moving like this. Like,
I think where you're putting him on, you're setting him up to a standard that he shouldn't be. Is it a bad thing if he slept with multiple people at his university that he fell in love with and told them about? Is that actually a bad thing? It's not. No matter how we put it.
I don't think he fell in love. But I think that he may have.
I don't think about.
Or he attempted to establish relationships with multiple people.
That's
Would that be a bad thing? It's not a bad
part of dating.
And that's the issue. It's not a bad thing. So it doesn't make him a bad person. The thing with this show is going to be her reaction to realizing, guess what? You weren't the first one. How are you going to feel when you think the things that made you special to him don't exist?
We already see that. She went to bed with a heavy heart, shall we say. She definitely has some doubt.
Like it's clearly foreshadowed.
I think there's this weird thing where people feel the need that you're going to be compared, and somehow the shit that you like about me, despite if Jasmine had it, it doesn't make it the same thing that why you went after both of us, right? There's there's a commonality, maybe it's a common base, but there are two different personalities. They're two different people. You don't, no one trait shows up the same across the board. So whether or not he did have other people, Sondi shouldn't compare herself to those other women because she holds and possesses something completely different than those other women. So I think that there's a misconception that if you slept with other people, there's some sort of pattern. There could be, it don't have to be a pattern at all. It can be sporadic as hell.
Is that from an enlightened person that can really separate the situation? Not saying it's a bad thing. When you can separate the situation and say, hey, I'm not like this person. Like, just because you did this with this person doesn't mean I'm the same person. But if we pay attention to certain conversations that happened in this episode, even down to Elle and her having a discussion about her fucking up and how she literally saw it as a negative thing. Again, that plays, I think, on the psyche of Santi.
Well, hold on.
On the psyche of Black women and women in general, when you're told that there's a power play and that if you sleep with men in power, that is your level up. So that is the dynamic. I don't think that they are intentionally, but I feel as though, like how Sondi got upset, like if I got a problem with a bitch, you got a problem with a bitch, and if she's saying something that makes me uncomfortable, then yeah, let's handle that. So
that's not fair. But okay.
I mean, I ain't saying it was fair. I just said code is code, and that's one of them girl codes.
Is that code?
All right, let's I want to move on to something else, but I do want to bring up one thing about this before I go. I think that it would be really, really bad writing if somehow they just turned him into a habitual liar. He's been honest. He's been honest about her to everything thus far, and for him to be able to go to the board and even though he had a plan that was in protection of them, and it was a lie, they decided to go about it in the way that she suggested, which happens to be the truth. And I think that if they tend to send him in this trajectory of just lying, I just don't think this psychology of this character that we've been getting for 5 episodes, it just wouldn't be consistent.
I think that's just the part we got to throw out. It wouldn't be him lying. He at no point in time have we ever heard them discuss any form of a past relationship. So it's not him lying. Yeah, and we can't look at it as a negative thing. Because if he did it and if he's had multiple partners, it's not a negative thing.
The negative
everybody
thing is
does
dating students. That, let me be very clear.
Now that could be bad if he dated students, but like, she's a TA, right? So she's not even a student.
It's still frowned upon, so it doesn't matter.
But that's what I mean. But that's not him lying to her about anything. That's what that's the part I'm just harping on what Njeri said about them portraying him as a liar. At that point, they're not portraying him as a liar.
Yeah, it's not
as somebody who was searching for love, which is nothing wrong with that.
It would come down to the idea that she's learning about more than she's known, and she's just going to feel deceived. Whether it was just hiding the truth,
just wait.
Or
just wait.
We'll
see.
Okay. Just wait.
All right. Now that we're done that, which is like 10% of the episode, there.
It's literally the most important part of the episode, though.
All the psychological stuff.
It's actually not to me, to be honest. But let's go to some little simple stuff real quick. Should Anderson should Anderson be able to come to the wedding?
No, he's not. He's not reliable. He's not
she said she
really
was
there.
Him, so now
that's it.
Him to one,
he's not invited.
You don't get a magical +1 to a wedding. That's like just
like what Sondi said. Sondi was like, wedding photos is forever, and he's not a forever person. He does not deserve to be in the photos with her.
Let me ask y'all a question. Y'all been in weddings before, right?
Yes, multiple.
Right. So if you're in the wedding party, shouldn't you have a +1?
Yes, but you would normally RSVP that +1 already, and this was clearly like they're at the wedding ceremony, and she's trying to add someone.
Why they are battling who should be the bridesmaid, the maid of honor, which is the alpha here, but they're still in the bridal party, which is still very significant. Shouldn't it be a given that they have a +1?
And it shouldn't a +1, but that's already counted months before. You don't do that at the last minute.
And then as your girl, the trio of trust, like you already know who you bringing in. Like it's already set in stone.
Njeri didn't ask the right question here, and I'm going to ask it to the people out there because maybe they'll help me out here. Do you think it's shady that her friend Sondi is hating on her possibly starting a relationship with this man, not possibly fully knowing the entire story? Because he laid it out last episode. What did he say? I went away. I tried to contact you. I did efforts. And she's openly admitting, but she openly admits that he did try. So how much of this full story does her friends know? And then just because she's now with this dude or trying to clearly establish something with him again, and then you just throw all this shade on her relationship.
The shade is that you told me, right? The shade is that you told me, Jasmine came to me and said, oh, we're just smashing. It's nothing like that.
Right.
And then you turn around and you ask for a goddamn +1 to a wedding because now it's turning into more than what you said it was. Yes, I'm throwing shade because the whole point was to protect you. The whole point was to keep you from getting into the situation that you're now about to get into, and then in 3 months you're finna call me or come on my doorstep crying about the situation.
But now you're projecting, because what happens if in 3 months? What happens? But what happens if in 3 months they're still together?
Oh
well, just not the wedding. You can invite him to a movie
theater.
No.
I'm not talking about Wendy telling her no. That is obvious. She should clearly have told her no. Yeah. That whole conversation with her and Sondi is what I'm talking about. Of her saying,
well, you have to understand.
That's what I just asked. Was it shady? I just asked, was it shady? I didn't say.
Oh, yeah.
You did say it was shady.
Yeah, I asked the audience, did they think it was shady? I know it was shady.
This is shade ball for shade ball, bro.
It was a large overcast.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
I think we found out how the trio of trust came about, because you see how Sondi was telling Renee about go hang with your friends because
they won't tell you about yourself.
Yeah, like I said, okay, so that's how that whole trio of trust came about. Sondi's not a part of it.
She's not in the trio of trust, and it seems like it's for a reason.
Yeah, she don't want that drama. She's like, you deal with your friends. That's your friend.
And she definitely needs to be put in her place. But that shit, the whole episode, she was trash. Yeah, Renee gotta go. I see why Nigeria didn't really like like that.
Nah, hell with that. Nah. how you gonna now I see.
Now I see why Nigeria didn't like Renee.
That doesn't even make any sense. I told y'all. First of all,
we had a little bit of this. We had a little bit of doubt.
All right, so first of all, let's talk about this guy Reed that she just all of a sudden brings into the party.
Oh my God.
I told you, she's so about herself, she really doesn't care. I mean, she already stepped by bringing somebody to a party that didn't get an invite.
Mm-hmm.
And my man personality is on a zillion right now. Like he looking for the DJ.
Like that pecan pie.
He the one of them type of dudes that use your own bathroom inside your bedroom, which is clearly the one that's off limits. He all up upstairs in your room and shit. But
him and Dr. Baptiste.
But
oh my God.
But like I think that what's interesting about her again is that she does make every situation about herself.
Yeah.
even the awkward, like, who is he? And she quickly explained it to it and tried to brush it off, like, I'm gonna have fun with him and et cetera, et cetera.
This is the worst she's been throughout the entirety of the show, though. And I was definitely
even I wasn't liking her.
Punch her in the goddamn face.
Do you think? Do you all think that it's this way and it's getting worse because of the upcoming ceremony?
I do, right?
Like, this is her reaction to everything.
She's going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Her homegirl is getting married. The other homegirl just moved in with said boyfriend, right? And where's the other one? And the other one is clearly making the smash buddy into something more. So yeah, she is definitely getting worse. And I think that this is part self. What's that word I'm looking for? I don't.
Absorb.
No. Yeah, definitely self-absorbed with a pinch of depression in there.
Yeah, that's what I feel is she's reacting like someone who is depressed about everything that's going on.
Yeah, like a sad story,
including to like her husband being this is why you just don't put randos that's married to your friends into your wedding. Like, that's nuts to even do that. Because now, guess what? I'm pretty sure through the way everything was set up that they're walking down the aisle together.
Right.
At your wedding.
Hey,
of a disaster.
Hey, let me tell you, because I've seen this happen in real life. Trust me, it ain't going down like that. Some guy's gonna have two girls and somebody gonna be walking by themselves.
Oh my God, that really happened?
Yes.
Like it's a whole messy situation here. And I don't think it's time. Renee needs time away from everyone. And she can't take it right now. It's humanly impossible. That's
her personality doesn't fit because she has to project her presence on everything. She has to be the center of attention. Yeah. Even though she is she's a combustible fireball right now. At some point, it's all going to explode.
I think Jasmine put it best a couple of episodes ago, though. We don't know what Renee was before all this stuff started happening. So is this her reaction to everything that's happened? And if this is her reaction towards everything that's happened with her marriage, with her husband, to him betraying her trust and all this other stuff, we're still not seeing the real her yet.
Right.
And we're going to have to get a point where she breaks. Yep.
Right. Whitney mentioned it was like, okay, I'm going to give you a pass because you're going through a divorce. So it's like, you don't really act like that. So I'm going to put you to the side because I'm not taking your emotions seriously.
Yeah.
Like you're right. So she had to put everybody in their place on that one episode.
She
was like, Hope is the only one that's a real friend to me, and y'all are just over here just everywhere.
It's Hope is trying her best, her little best.
So am I the only person that's never heard this acronym GRITS before?
Oh, what the girls raised in the South?
Yeah.
So I never heard of grit using the term grits, but girls raised in the South are different. It's a book.
Southern
hospitality, like they're more like wively.
I get that, but I mean, like, I never heard that acronym before.
It's an amazing best-selling book that came out in like the mid-90s, and it set the trend for a lot of what they call, like, I've heard this saying a lot of what grits are. So, and it's based off of that book. I can't remember who wrote it because that would be crazy if I could remember that at this point in my life and with the amount of alcohol I've had tonight. But it is a book from the 90s, and it was set up for how girls in the South are, hospitality, things of that nature. So it did kind of make sense when she said that was Sondi, because that is, they will put on that face and they can host anything you need them, no matter what they're going through. That's part of the most powerful part of lots of women, because it's not just girls in the South, it's women from anywhere who are able to compartmentalize their own feelings for the betterment of whatever their relationship or businesses are.
Or that would also be her partner as well too, as he has had to done the same thing while they've kept his relationship on the low.
Look at you trying to get men in all their women business.
Matt.
We up here praising women, and look at you trying to put men all in it.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's a stereotype here or any type of like marginalization. I think it's just the two of them in a survival tactic to really get this relationship like working and on the right path despite the challenges around them. All right, so let's talk about what I think was the most important part of this episode, and is that the question I need everybody to answer, because I know I'm gonna just shut up once I ask this question. I'm out of here. Do hoes be winning?
Oh, definitely winning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. We've been saying this for years, 20 plus years. Hoes be winning, Joe. I forget the comedian that said that. It was a female comedian at that who said it.
What they
That's
say,
right.
nice guys finish last, nice women finish last.
Hoes be winning, man. Hoes be out here winning too.
Girls finish last.
Afrocentric Donda Batiste
Hey,
has for spitting knowledge this episode, it seems like. But I do want to know, and to people listening, to everybody on the show, what part of it, like, how much truth in what she's saying is actually, how much of this do you say is truth? Or, because I felt like she's coming from the right place until we saw her character come out. And a few minutes later, so how much of this is just her spitting facts? Or is she just somebody that's just trying to stir the pot up? Also, I have to note that it's very ironic that she talked about women being able to get that one mistake. Everyone should be able to test another one. Mm-hmm. And the main person that needed to hear it wasn't around. I wonder why they played it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I thought that was very interesting.
I think she probably is the one who snitched.
Is fucking up a bad thing? That's what I need to ask the women here. Is fucking up a bad thing? I assume it's an amazing thing.
It depends on the context of fucking up.
It depends on what it is.
Right. Because let's be honest, men don't allow for certain fuck ups, right? Because y'all egos.
Yeah, men don't. No, preach.
No.
Egos.
If we messed up, yes.
Let me rephrase.
Egos.
Not that fucking
pride,
up.
get hurt.
Not fucking up in the sense of fucking up a relationship, but fucking up in the sense of fucking up. Like, I'm not fucking down. Like, again, Jay-Z had a famous lyric about it, about like, if I'm gonna cheat on Beyonce, it ain't gonna be with Free.
Right.
I mean,
it's gonna be me fucking up.
Like, I don't know how often that happens for.
I mean, a lot of women are opportunists, though. I'm not gonna not say that.
It's a whole Future got like 6 baby mamas who was fucking up. Like, come on now. We're not gonna.
Six.
A lot of women are opportunists.
Fucking up isn't just about.
Hey, 6 is a friendly number for Future.
Yes, it is. But like the fucking up part, I think it's more about the status of that person. Because she even said it. She said you can fuck down and just have some pointless like shit that's below you. But what's wrong with you fucking upward?
Right.
And I think that's
ain't
what
nothing wrong with that.
Do.
Right.
And I don't see anything an issue with it.
Society's rules, right? Or like what looks good, what they deemed right and what they deemed wrong. I mean, they consider it.
Yeah.
Like, so here's the thing. I feel like women have said, "Don't look at me or want me just for my body," and then some women will turn around and use their body and their looks to fuck up. So it's a double. It's like it's one of those things where it's going to impact some people on a flip side, on a bad side, and it's going to impact people on the I got lucky, fucked up, and I mean, I wouldn't consider Eve. Well, I guess technically, because he's a millionaire, so she did fuck up. So.
Okay, so.
I think that was it's a very interesting dynamic that they played in place, because I thought that was the most interesting question or scenario presented in this episode about fucking up, because I don't think it's just a woman thing. Everyone wants to do that.
Well, okay.
Not a single person alive. Not saying that eventually you don't fall in love with someone and establish something deeper than that. But normally when you meet people, it's off of their appearance, off of what you believe they are. And that could lead to you fucking up a lot. Yeah, well, not a lot if you're not like having sex. I don't mean that. But like for people who engage in certain casual type of affairs, sometimes, not all, but sometimes a lot of it is based off appearance, which could lead you to fucking upward. And I don't see it personally as an issue.
Do whatever makes you happy.
Okay. So there's 2 things with that, because like when you hear fuck up, you think either mistake or you're thinking upgrading. And I think that the way how the conversation was worded, you can use either interpretation, because if you look at Renee's situation, the guy that she brought, I don't think that she wanted it to be this way, but based on what the professor said, she feels like by sleeping with this guy is actually going to be a better thing for her. When she brought him up, she laid down all of his cards and whatever. But also at the same time too, when this conversation was had, Ella and them kind of looked at each other because I think they were thinking like, oh, this kind of speaks towards the situation with Whitney here, where she slept with the guy because they say everybody deserves to try at least one other one out there, which applies to what Whitney's situation is. So I think it was worded in a way that this scenario could actually
it was both
relate to all of them.
Yeah, she played both. She said you can fuck up in relationships because it's a power dynamic, and that's one way. But then she also said you should be allowed one mistake.
Yeah,
like she was playing both cards here, and I think as a culture we celebrate people who fuck up. Not fuck up in form of relationship, but fuck up into their standards. Like
leveling up.
Well, unfortunately, right now it's a standard right now of what we consider, or society currently, especially the younger generation, considers like the go-to woman right now, and it's one, and everyone knows who that one woman is, and she's that way because she fucks up, and she's fucked up constantly. She fucked up from a son to a dad. Like she understood, like, I have a certain cachet about me and a certain standard, and that standard's gonna go up. It ain't going down. About? Lori Harvey.
I mean, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like again, but that's like right now, currently, that's like if you listen to other podcasts, if you listen to anything else, it's like she's the one that other women champion. Like, yes, she's doing these dudes like they do us, and she's fucking up every time. She's not, she has a standard. That standard must be met. She ain't just messing with some niggas who she met on the street that may be nice and cool. No. She has a standard set. And her whole crew is like that. And I think that is in our society now, that's not frowned upon. At one point it was, especially towards women. But right now, I don't think it is anymore.
I don't know if that's necessarily it, but I also feel like it's this space where women are, where we're not about to just settle for whatever you toss at us.
Right.
Because we already know that.
You know what you want. You're not going to settle for anything.
Like a guy asked me out on a date the other day and he wanted to take me to Fridays. I don't even take myself to Fridays, so no.
Hey, Friday got some good appetizers, girl.
Not on the first date.
Hey, but you're right.
If it's the only thing open, you got
it. That's a booty call. What? Come on, man.
Oh boy, trouble. The triangle of trust need to get it together now. All right, so look, let me ask this. Sondi, who she asked the question before she went to bed. She wants to know what's the deal. I feel that he answered it direct, and it is what it is. But it's obviously it's not sitting well with her because she turned that backside to him in a heartbeat, and she went to sleep with her eyes open. So the question to everybody is, do she legitimately have a concern, or is she in her own head?
It could be both.
50-50. Yes,
thank
both. You.
We
don't know. He's uncertain. It's uncertain. It's that uncertainty where you can't sleep at night. If you don't have a direct answer, of course you're gonna be like, man, what if? And then you can't go to sleep, and your thoughts are just eating.
No. She got direct answers. She just didn't ask exactly what she wanted to know.
It wasn't fully detailed. It was just kind of like, yeah.
But the first thing that came to me is that. Yeah, transparency has been the theme of this entire show. Is no one is talking and saying exactly what they want to talk about or setting standards to what their expectations are. Like everyone's negating the truth. And it seems like what's interesting is that what we saw in the end of this episode is folks starting to hold each other accountable, which is why it was so much tension once they were getting fitted for their dresses and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so like again, we saw Ella and
Renee.
Sondi. Yeah, Ella.
No, Ella and Renee got into it.
Yeah, Ella and Sondi got together.
Yeah,
Ella and Sondi. And all right, so first of all, I just want to know too, because I do hear it all the time, and I guess I never looked at it in this perception. Is sis a passive aggressive term?
It can be, yes. Yeah, it's all about how you say it.
It's about how it's a tone in voice.
Yeah, it's about tone and how.
Is he like sis or like sis?
Right, yeah.
Sis is the most shady word in a woman dictionary.
Exactly.
Okay, sis. Get it, sis?
Exactly.
Oh man.
This is up there with it couldn't be me.
Bro.
Oh, bro.
All right, bro.
Oh, big
All right,
bro. Because if a dude big bro you don't know if he beefing with you or if y'all cool.
All right, bro.
Exactly. It could be both.
Mhm. It's a shady
but
word.
The way she said it, absolutely, it was shade.
Right.
110%.
I'm just waiting. I was waiting for her to say it couldn't be me.
Of rain over there.
I did. I was like, it couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
I told you we were over here like.
Listen, right? Hello. The cat, it would have been dry.
Just like that, the cameras would have been flying off.
But we need to go this way real quick, fast, in a hurry.
Well, look, I said this, and I'm glad that we can finally see it as evident as day that there is no trust between the two, any of them, and they do not have each other in best interest. That's how the community ping got in the situation and got tossed around with some envy and some mistakes, and everybody went the other way like, oh, it wasn't my fault.
No. You're going to stop blaming the rest of the women for Whitney making the mistake of sleeping with the community penis.
Hey, look,
like,
I know somebody in the comments came for me last week, and I'm back on it this week. I'm refreshed. Look, here's my thing. I'm gonna cut it straight up clean.
Okay.
Whitney is a kid. She has never been from under parental guidance. She has known one thing, one way her entire, and her mom made it very clear that you are very much shelled. I don't know nothing about what's going on in your life. So she is straight. She has that blinder on like a horse. She sees it one way. If you have a kid, Jasmine, you have kids. If you tell your kids do not do something, what do?
The complete opposite.
Exactly.
So that's her friend's fault?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because you know if you're a friend, you know your friends, and you know the moment you let them start bearing off the road, you know they're gonna hijack the whole car. You know it.
But guess what though? Here's the way I see it. Whitney is the most dishonest person on this show.
Wow.
Hands down. She clearly doesn't.
You may not be wrong. You may not
want to be married. She has all this. She is the most dishonest person on this show, and that's
the most.
That's the problem.
Afraid person on this show.
She's just a kid. The world is too big for her right now.
Standards the entire of her life. She has only known that she's supposed to succeed. It's supposed to look this way for her to get married. It's supposed to be
perfection. She's wrapping around perfection.
She's been in a box. Now that she has been getting a taste of what's outside the box, she don't want to be in the box no more. And that happens to a lot of people, both men and women. The taste
is that she got some D. That's the only taste.
It's about the experience of life. That's like keeping a kid in. Like for me, for example, I couldn't go to parties in high school. I got to college.
Thank you.
But at what point do we look at that? All of them are supposed to be in their early to mid 30s?
Yeah.
So you're telling me for 32 or 33 years she was fine, and then all of a sudden that last year she decides I want to try the rest of the world? No.
You don't think that's possible?
No. Yeah. I think it's more than possible that she knew from the beginning that she wanted to try different things, and because I think her conversation with her and her mom really pinpointed it. She wants to hold on to the perfect standard she assumed her mother wanted for her, and because of that standard, she shelled herself off to everything else.
But because of that, I don't blame her friends for living their life. It was a discussion that they were having as friends. They shouldn't hide themselves from it. Man,
And that conversation needed to be had with her mother so it could clear her up and almost free her from bondage, because she's been holding herself hostage to some imaginary expectations that her mom, had or didn't have, and the self expectations she put her, on herself. So it's a mixture. I know plenty of people who are my age and extremely sheltered, who do not know what life looks like out of a certain view. So it's not impossible. Now their responsibility is on them, But the people who are in their lives, there are still people enabling the shit out of these people. So
yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's the
Yeah.
enabling thing that I'm blaming them for.
Yeah,
When
it's
you know that
submission.
your friend is sheltered, you know your friend has curfew at 8:00, and you decide to keep them out until 10, and they get in trouble. Who's at fault? You, because you knew better, and you
Or
held them
is it that you know
persuaded.
that your friend is in a situation she doesn't want to be in?
I
And
think
I think all of them at this point know that she's in a. She even said it that she's technically getting married to this guy and she doesn't want to.
yeah, but
I
she
don't-
also
didn't
said
say
that she
that.
had the jitters. No, she
did in the
She said she
second
had the
episode.
jitters.
she had
It was- but
she
I
had
think-
uncertainty,
Not
and then
supposed to be getting married.
But
She didn't know, about being
Yeah.
married, period.
I
Not
think at
saying he
this
wasn't
point-
a great man.
Yeah, it's not him at all. I think at this
Yeah.
point we understand that she doesn't actually want to be married to him.
Right. She doesn't want the perfect wedding. She doesn't
Yeah.
want this perfect
It's-
life.
hold on. We
And
can't
even
we
her
can't-
reaction to when her friends met her mom at the wedding fitting and how outgoing her mom was and how she's like,
And the
"Why
dress
you-"
was ugly, by the way.
No.
That dress
Yes, it was.
ugly.
That-
Thank you, Jasmine. That dress was extremely ugly.
I wouldn't wear it. It wouldn't be me.
Wait. I think y'all wrong.
Couldn't be me.
I think I don't think we should go off assumptions here. When she said that she was having the jitters about it and she addressed it, then that's where we should be at. The fact that she's like that with her mom, she also addressed that too. She has completely became emotionally unavailable to her own mother, and her mom was just like, "You don't let me in. I don't know how you're feeling," and I think that is probably a defense mechanism of this idea. And like, I'll be honest, a lot of Black people do this too. It's this idea of what you think being perfect is.
Yeah.
You think that you're supposed to have the full house upbringing of all of these razzle dazzle things, the fence, the dog, and all this other stuff. And if you don't have that, then you fail. When the idea that your imperfections actually make you who you are. And I think that she going through all of this, the idea even having doubts about the wedding, I think she thinks it's like, this is so wrong, where it's like, no, this is probably very normal. You just probably need to just talk to people about it. Stop trying to metabolize everything by yourself. And her mom is like, I'm here for you. I got you. But you got to open up.
She's going to tell Ola that she slept with that guy.
I think so.
And when she does, she's going to say, we shouldn't get married.
He might be like, okay, me too. I was feeling the same
guess
way.
What? Those aren't jitters. That's a feeling within you that's telling you I should not be married to this person.
What would be the second outcome of this?
There is none. It's going to end. This is definitely, they're not going to get married. Because if they get married, it's going to be a horrible marriage between them two because she's still not being honest with herself or him.
Or the start of honesty starts right now and it's starting at home with her mother.
Oh, she's going to tell her mother that she slept with someone else.
Agreed.
Because that was the fear. If she told her that, what would it mean for her? So if she tells her mother that, to me, either way, it ends with them two not getting married.
Yeah, but I still think that in an eye of self-consciousness and healthy quality of living, the moment that she starts to free herself, starting by regaining that relationship with her mom, being honest about her situation, and then going to him, I think it's up to him to decide where this goes now. And maybe she do decide and say, I'm not ready to get married. But I don't think that means that that's totally detrimental to the relationship. This could be postponed. This could be a lot of pressure to them. They could work this out. They've only known each other. So
you think that he's going to go to her and say, by the way, all of these families that we done met together, everything we done set up here, I don't want to get married to you. And he going to say, you know what? You're right. Let's take it slow now. You've lost your damn mind. Can I say
he might? I mean, after finding about that infidelity.
But the key part going to be, I don't think it's as much the infidelity as much as her actually not wanting to be married. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the infidelity.
I think if it was
just the infidelity, it may be a chance he can look past that. But
of course,
with her not wanting to be married, because that's what it is here, is a doubt. She doesn't want to be married.
Right.
I don't think that's what she ever wanted, especially now she has this conversation with her mom. That picture perfect thing is over for her.
Or maybe she doesn't know what marriage is, and maybe that her mom, who's been married for 30-something years, is going to explain to her that we've had our ups and downs. I've been through this. you don't just get married and you cross through the heavenly gates and life is just perfect. I think her mom is going to lay down some really, I mean, her mom was already dropping gems, and I think that her mom may be able to connect with her. That could save this. She will still be honest to Ola. I still see that happening, and that's going to be a crazy thing. But at the end of the day,
but would it be like her mom saying, if you're not happy, you're not meant to marry this man?
Also could be another outcome too.
Possibility.
Yeah.
So,
which is realistic.
Thank you. Yeah. Say it again, Jasmine. Say it again, Jasmine.
Realistic.
Thank you, because they're not getting married.
I wouldn't want to get married to somebody that wasn't certain of the marriage. There's no way. I'm not going to commit to you 100%. You know how much trauma it is for a divorce?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or to say, hey, I'm a divorcee.
I think that the fact for me, what stood out was that she said we would have eloped years ago had you not wanted this perfect wedding. And I think that in that space she was ready and excited and gung-ho. And I think the longer, which is why I'm opposed to a long-ass engagement, miss me with that shit, that you're engaged to somebody, yeah, there's seeds of doubt, there's there's space for you to obviously change and decide like this isn't the person you know. Of course that can happen inside of a marriage, but I think that when you wait, when you keep waiting, because then you think about like, why are we waiting? Like,
I feel like it. I mean, well, it took 12 years for me to get married, and I already felt married. It was just the whole process, so it could be to each his own. She just probably didn't feel like she wanted to be married. Period. I just think that's what it is. Yeah, because you could be engaged for a long time, but when somebody's your husband, will be your husband.
I think it's the doubt that's being seeded in her is a doubt that she always had. It's just coming to the forefront.
Yeah,
and she's getting closer.
She's just like,
to the ceremony.
I want to be a
like, oh my God, like this is not actually what I want. And even her having a meeting with her friends and saying all this stuff I'm going through with the wedding. And in all honesty, besides you sleeping with someone else, what have you gone through?
It's
your own doubt. That's
she ain't playing it. Yeah, I was gonna say, she's in a wedding. Nothing. She's in a wedding. She's not controlling. Everything. At
what part did they show that she's not controlling what happens? All her parents said is,
the Nigerian wedding.
Yeah.
Oh no,
her dress is ugly.
No. But not the Nigerian dress. That was fine. It was the American dress that was a shitty mess.
Ugly. She didn't pick that. I bet you.
But again,
she didn't pick that.
But that literally, if that would be the sticking point, then you definitely can't marry him. You're not going to marry into that family and think something like that would. But I don't think that is the stress of it. The stress for her has always been, I don't know if I want to marry him. And if I go through all of this with his family.
At the very beginning, she was talking about the stresses of her mom inviting all these people that she had. Then she went into talking about how she had to, to do the whole Nigerian part of the wedding with Ola's family, and that she did not feel like she was fitting in. So let's be very clear that was not at the forefront of these episodes until she cheated.
She said she slept. But did she sleep with the guy in the first episode when all of this happened? She slept with him in the first episode.
All right, well,
the very first episode. She mentioned all that about the wedding and slept with somebody 3 hours later.
Well, hey, I mean,
come on now. We're not gonna act like out the blue. She said, you know what, this wedding is so stressful. I just need some new dick so I can get over the stress of this wedding. No.
That's almost a story. She probably was talking about how stressed it was.
Stressed out. I need some new D.
Exactly. No, that was.
I need the community.
That wasn't it. It was again. I think this show.
Hold on. So let's just take off half of that. She was stressed out from the whole wedding. She didn't know what to do. Interject her friend saying, "Here's your out. Do this." Now, isn't it her fault?
Whoa. Did they say that? Which friend said that? Which friend said that? We need to bring this up. Which friend said that, sir?
Again.
Which friend said that?
When Ella said that, that's community ping. When Renee stated that everyone had all of that,
and it's good.
So what are you saying? Like, oh man, this seems like a good drug that you can go ahead and use, and it'll ease off of you a little bit.
I'm about to say, so if they all said, you know what, this heroin is so good, like that heroin, that's community heroin.
Hold on.
We all do it.
Hold on,
Like,
but doesn't it happen that way?
What type of pressure? No.
What are you talking about? That's exactly how. That's exactly
People
how
advertise drugs like that all the time, but it's up to you to decide on if you're gonna take them drugs or not. I'm gonna keep that
because guess what? I can fuck. I can kill that what drug you offer me if I'm not gonna take
all
it
the time, and I'll be like, nah.
All right,
cool. We'll have you flying high. No, thank you.
Okay, cool. So today in our lessons from Dare, peer pressure and bullying is not a thing, and most of these things don't happen to people closest by you. And this is how most things.
So
apparently
on the internet.
The views on this show
and they did not offer her anything. They literally were stating a fact because they all slept with him, and they're like, that's community D. Matter of fact, the moment they said it's community D, she should have been like, oh no, I don't want to fuck him. Everyone
probably got
him.
Something.
Instead, you know what she did? She hopped on it like Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard.
Like a toy.
Showing up at the wedding. Boom.
Hey, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for him to show up at the wedding in that Versace jacket.
Till next time. Till next episode.
You'll see.
I see him showing up at the wedding. I see Sondi confronting old sis hating ass.
I don't think that's gonna happen. But go ahead.
I think she was a snitch. Remember, I said that. I think she was the snitch. She probably saw from afar and took a photo and sent it to the board. Remember, I said that.
I think Sondi's going to have more questions, as you all said, because only the women said it was 50-50. I'm with Njeri. He gave a clear answer to her clear question. But because you all said he did not fully give an answer,
50-50.
That's going to be the conflict between them two. Because she's going to harbor those interference. Yes, 1,000% so.
Is that everybody? And L is...
Ella and Anderson are going to live happily ever after.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah, that's going to be good. Episode 8.
And it's going to be the test of their friendship. Because
she'll probably hit a Houdini. All that talking about him, she'll probably pull the same move. All that weird tension between the friends, she might just not show up.
her and Anderson is like my girl and Ellis from Girlfriends. We know where this is going to go to.
Oh man! All right, well, let's wrap up because we definitely went longer than we usually go for our reviews.
It was necessary, though.
That's because y'all tried to fight with me, and then in the end said the same thing I said about Matt. Come on now, come on. Y'all said the same thing I said at the end though. Njeri asked the question, and then y'all got right to the things I said about him. That made no sense. I know Njeri was thinking, wait a minute, didn't Lucas say this in the beginning?
Tell us in the comments.
So who you siding with, y'all? You siding with Njeri, Lucas, Amaya, or me? Who you siding with?
They're gonna be a bunch of just lose.
Who's your favorite character on this episode?
Put your punch emojis for Lucas. Means you punch him.
Right. Yeah, you see how? Come on, y'all.
All right, y'all. We'll be back each and every Sunday after the conclusion of the show airing for each of our reviews. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We're gonna leave y'all on that note. Y'all let us know who y'all agree with in the comments, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.